Amin Kamani here, folks, and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Today in this YouTube video, what you're going to learn is 11 idiomatic expressions that you can use when it comes to shopping or when you go shopping. So let's get started with the first one, which is to go on a shopping spree. To go on a shopping spree. When someone goes on a shopping spree, what happens is they go shopping and buy lots of things and pay for lots of things. This is usually what women do, right? As soon as they have some money in their hands, the first thing that they do is go on a shopping spree and spend it on different things, different items, because this is something that provides them with a lot of pleasure, right? So, to go on a shopping spree, let me give you an example. Make sure you don't share all your money with Amanda, because once she has some money, she goes on a shopping spree. Always try to make sure that you're not sharing all your money with Amanda, because as soon as she knows that she has lots of money, she goes on a shopping spree. Always make sure that you're not sharing your money with Amanda, because once she makes sure that she has lots of money, she goes on a shopping spree, which means Amanda goes shopping and buys lots of things, usually things that you don't really need or unnecessary things. Alright, let's move on to the second idiom that you can use when it comes to shopping, which is to get your money's worth. To get your money's worth. When you get your money's worth, you bought something that is worth the money that you paid for it. Or you buy something which is worth it, or you buy something at a fair price or at a reasonable price, or you've paid for something and bought something that suits you, that meets your needs, or that you believe is valuable. So to get your money's worth means to buy something that is worth the money that you paid for it. Let me give you an example. My father always makes sure that he's getting his money's worth when he goes shopping. My father always makes sure that he's getting his money's worth when he goes shopping. What about you? Does it really matter to you that you get your money's worth when you go shopping, or you think you only go shopping to have fun, or just for the hell of it, or just for the fun of it? I personally always do my best to make sure that I'm getting my money's worth when I go shopping, because I don't want to waste the money that I have earned with lots of difficulties. So I always do my best and attach a great deal of importance to getting my money's worth by buying valuable things and things which are worth the money that I'm paying for them. Alright, now we're getting to the third idiomatic expression, which is to buy a pup. To buy a pup. When you buy a pup, what happens is you buy something which is worthless, or which is not worth the money that you have paid for it. So this idiom is kind of opposite of the previous idiom that I taught you. When you get your money's worth, you buy something which is worth the money that you have paid for it. But when you buy a pup, you buy something which is worthless and not valuable at all, or something that is not worth the money that you have paid for it. Let me give you an example. Once you give her some money, she goes and buys a pup. Once you give her some money, she goes and buys a pup. Do you know anyone around you who always buys a pup, or who always says that they bought a pup? I have a friend who's never happy and satisfied with what he buys. He spends lots of money, a fortune, on buying different things, and at the end of the day, when it comes to their practicality and when it comes to using them, he always believes that he's bought a pup and he thinks he's not paid for anything valuable, or he has not got his money's worth, or he has paid for things which are not worth the money that he has paid for them. Anyway, now let's get to the fourth idiomatic expression that you can use here, which is to buy a pig in a poke. To buy a pig in a poke. What does that mean? To buy a pig in a poke. When you buy a pig in a poke, or when someone buys a pig in a poke, what happens is they buy something without assessing or evaluating it, or they buy something without examining or seeing it. I think it's happened to you a lot of times, like a million times, that you bought a pig in a poke, right? You bought something without seeing it, or without examining or assessing the product first. So that's what buying a pig in a poke means. When you buy a pig in a poke, you buy something without any prior examination or assessment, or you buy something without seeing it first. Let me give you an example. I think the decision to buy that car was a hasty one because I bought a pig in a poke. I think the decision to buy that car was a hasty one. Why? Because I believe that I bought a pig in a poke. What does that mean? That means I believe that I bought that car without enough consideration or without any prior examination or assessment of what I was going to buy. And now I believe that I haven't got my money's worth by buying that car, or that car was not worth the money that I paid for it. So, to buy a pig in a poke. Alright, now let's talk about the fifth idiomatic expression, which is to pay over the odds for something. To pay over the odds for something. When you pay over the odds for something, you pay more than what is acceptable or reasonable for something, or you pay more than a reasonable price or a fair price for something, or you buy something at an unreasonable and unacceptable price, usually a price which is far higher than the acceptable or reasonable price that should be considered for something, or an unreasonable amount of money for something that should be cheaper, or something that is expected to be cheaper. So to pay over the odds. I think in this day and age, when you do online shopping, when you browse the net and surf the net and want to buy something online, what happens is most of the time you pay over the odds for something that you could have bought at a lower price, and something that you could have bought a lot cheaper. So you pay over the odds for those products on the internet, right? So paying over the odds on the internet for things that you can find in person on the market has become pretty common in this day and age. Sometimes people get defrauded or deceived by websites or by hackers and people selling stuff on the internet. So always make sure that you're not paying over the odds for the things that you can find at lower prices in person, on the market, on the internet. Let me give you an example. I wish I hadn't bought that camera on Amazon. I think I paid over the odds for it. I wish I hadn't bought that camera on Amazon. I think I paid over the odds for it. Alright, now we're getting to the sixth idiom, which is to pay through the nose for something. To pay through the nose for something. This idiom has the exact same meaning as the previous idiom that I just taught you. To pay through the nose for something means to pay over the odds for something, or to pay an unreasonable amount of money for something, or to buy something at an unreasonable price, or to pay a higher price for something, or to pay an unreasonably high amount of money for something that you could have bought somewhere else at much more reasonable and much lower prices. So to pay through the nose for something means to pay an amount of money for something which is not reasonable or acceptable, or to pay more than what is acceptable or reasonable for something, an item or a product. So to pay through the nose for something. Let me give you an example. I wish I hadn't bought that camera on Amazon. I think I paid through the nose for it. I wish I hadn't bought that camera on Amazon. I think I paid through the nose for it. What about you? Have you ever paid through the nose for something that you believe you could have bought at a lower price somewhere else? It happened to me like a million times, or every single time that I buy something on the internet. I always believe that if I had searched more, and if I had spent more time surfing the net, or browsing around the shops myself in person, I could have bought the same item at lower prices or at much more reasonable prices. So I always believe that when I buy something, I've paid over the odds for it, or I've paid through the nose for it. Alright, now we're getting to the seventh idiomatic expression, which is to buy something up. When you buy something up, you buy as much of something as you can as quickly as possible. So to buy as much of something as you can as quickly as possible before it ends. Things like tickets, I don't know, things like products, goods, items, whatever, and so on and so forth. So when you buy something up, you buy as much of something as you can, or you buy as many of something as you can as quickly as possible before it ends, or before selling that product comes to an end. Let me give you an example. People have bought all the tickets up, so there are no more tickets left. People have bought all the tickets up. There are no more tickets left. Sorry, there are no more tickets left. People have bought all the tickets up. All right, now we're getting to the 8th idiomatic expression in this regard, which is to buy something on easy terms. To buy something on easy terms. To buy something on easy terms. When you buy something on easy terms, you buy something but pay for it over a long period of time. Instead of paying the whole money for what you've bought, you buy it and you take possession of it, but you pay for it over a long period of time, usually by installments or by making some small payments over a long period of time. So that's how you buy something on easy terms. Have you ever bought something on easy terms? I think nowadays most people would rather buy things or buy anything that they need on easy terms because they find it a lot easier to pay the things that they bought off and pay for them. So to buy something on easy terms means to buy something and take possession of it, but to pay for it over a long period of time by making small payments. Let me give you an example. Do you see that Ford Mustang over there? I bought it on easy terms. Do you see that Ford Mustang over there? That's mine. I bought it on easy terms. Who in their right mind would buy something by paying the whole price first? In this day and age, most people are looking for opportunities to come along or come up and buy things on easy terms. So most people are interested in buying things on easy terms. All right, now let's get to the 9th idiomatic expression, which is buy something off plan. To buy something off plan. To buy something off plan. When you buy something off plan, what happens is you buy a house or you buy a project or you buy an apartment before it's completely built and constructed when only plans exist for it. So to buy something off plan means to buy something that doesn't actually exist, but there are only plans for it, especially houses, properties, buildings, villas, and so on and so forth. Let me give you an example. In my home country, Iran, most people are interested in buying properties of plan. In my home country, Iran, most people are interested in buying properties, houses, apartments of plan. Why? Because they pay much less for the same building or the same apartment before it gets constructed or built. And once the building is completed and delivered to the customers, at the end of the day, they've paid much less for the apartment or the building than the amount of money that you have to pay for an apartment when it's completely ready. So in my home country, Iran, most people would rather buy apartments, properties, projects, and so on and so forth of plan. What about you? Would you buy an apartment of plan? Or would you like to buy anything of plan? I think the answer is pretty personal. I would rather take the trouble to buy something of plan because I know at the end of the day, the total price will be a lot lower than when it's ready and you're paying for it. Anyway, now let's get to the 10th idiomatic expression that you can use when it comes to shopping, which is to buy something by installments, which has a relatively similar meaning to one of the previous idiomatic expressions that I taught you, which was to buy something on easy terms. So to buy something by installments means you buy something, but instead of paying the whole money for it, you pay the money over a long period of time by making some small payments. So to buy something by installments means You buy something, take possession of it, and start using it, but you pay for it over a long period of time by making some small payments. Let me give you an example. Most car owners prefer to buy cars by installments because not everyone has the total amount of money that they have to pay for a car. So they'd rather buy the car, start using it, and take possession of it first than pay its money over a long period of time or pay for it over a long period of time by making some small payments or by making some gradual payments. Alright, that was all about what you were supposed to learn today, all about shopping and the different types of things that you can buy and the different methods of payment or the different methods of paying for things. What I want you to do is, first of all, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video, and also leave some comments under this post by using all the idiomatic expressions that I taught you in this video. Hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll be back soon with another wonderful video.